Good day everyone, my name is Manix and welcome to my world. Today we are kicking off a brand new series where we create all kinds of posters, from movies to games and even book covers. Our main focus will be movie and game posters with the occasional book cover thrown in for fun. For the very first episode, I'll be revisiting one of my older works.
Underworld, Half-Blood Queen.
I first posted it back in August 2022, and now feels like the perfect time to see just how much I've grown as an artist since then. And with that, welcome to Frameforge. I always start with the background because it sets the tone and makes it easier to build the scene around it. And our goal for this one is to make everything feel more intense and chaotic, like the world's on the edge or something violent, because the previous poster felt cold and isolated. And adding our background is as simple as dropping the image, resize, and reposition it until it felt right. Time to bring in the characters, starting with Death herself. So step 1, you probably know it. It's removing the background. And I'm using the pen tool in GIMP because, I don't know, it just makes me feel like a background slicing samurai. You know what? Let's just speed it up before I really slash his computer.
Six and a half hours later.
Now it's time for the Lycans. But you already know what's going to happen next, so why not let's cut it here before they start monologuing about
Why humans deserve extinction.
Now that all our characters are in position, it's time to blend the colors. For this, I'm using Gimmick Kitty. Gimmick Kitty comes with a wide range of cinematic presets, super versatile and really easy to use. For this project, I went with Flavin preset, and it really nails that apocalyptic atmosphere I'm going for. And the most important thing, don't forget to apply it to everything. Yes, everything. But before we get to the Lycans, we need to fix those four edges, because right now, they look like a cardboard cutout. So, it's time for another speedrun. And just like that, Lycans cleaned up, preset applied, and now they blend right into the scene. Time to add the shadows. First, the touching shadows, right under their feet, so nobody looks like they're floating in an obviously fake way. Next, the form shadows. Just enough to create contrast for the highlights we'll add later. After adding the form shadows to the first wolf, I decided to add the glow behind them to create more contrast between the characters and the background. These also give us opportunity to add rim lighting later. After that, I went back to add the form shadows on the other characters to keep everything consistent. Now that the form shadows are in place, it's time to add the highlights. The glow in the background, along with the sign on the left, creates a perfect depth to really make our characters stand out. After finishing the highlights on the first row, I move on to the ground, adding just the right amount of highlights using the same light sources to keep the scene consistent. I also refine the glow in the background, keeping it subtle to avoid overpowering the scene. With that done, it's time to start adding highlights to the other characters. Now, it's time to add the cast shadows. These flow onto the ground and surrounding surfaces, adding that extra touch of realism. Next, we build atmospheric depth with layers of smoke and fog, making the scene feel darker, apocalyptic, and drenched in raw, unrelenting horror. Alright, time to tackle something that's been bugging me since the start. The background. Because for some reason, there were still people just casually walking around in the middle of this apocalyptic war zone. And yeah, nothing can survive faster than a tourist treating the apocalypse like a walking tour. Next up, the main character's edges. Because as much as I love her, right now she's still giving off that poorly cut sticker slap on notebook energy. And now, let's move on to the hair of our main character. We will fix it same way we handled the fur edges on the Lycans. But here's where I pulled a total rookie move. I forgot to duplicate the layer before painting. But hey, sometimes you just have to roll with it, and somehow it all worked. Maybe not the best, but I had no choice but to believe it's good enough. To wrap it all up, we bring in the title. The final piece that pulls everything together. I experimented with a few different looks until I found one that really clicked. In the end, I went with a gritty, metallic texture splashed with blood. Well, that's rust, but it looks like blood, so the result? A title that feels dangerous, cinematic, and dripping with menace. Seeing these two side by side really puts things into perspective. Hopalad Queen was made back in 2022, and looking at it now, you can see my understanding of highlights and shadows was still in progress. The lighting's there, but it doesn't quite blend naturally yet. And that title? Yeah, it's rough. It's just plain text drop on the top of the poster with no real treatment or effects. It gets the job done, but that's about it. Now, with the seed of Lycan, I've got a much better grasp on how lighting actually works, how shadows and highlights can shape depth and mood. I'm not fully there yet, but I can feel the improvement. The title's also a big step up. It finally looks like a part of the scene, textured, blended, and way more cinematic. A heaps better than the first one, for sure. Seeing them together, it's clear how much has changed, not just in skill, but in understanding. That's what FrameForge is all about. Learning, improving, and pushing your craft one poster at a time. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. I'm Manix, and this is FrameForge.